Hey buddies, welcome to AmassGames. My name is Simon. Today we're going to setup, play and review this game from 1966, Win, Place and Show, a 3M sports game. Now I didn't know that 3M actually stood for something to do with Michigan, motors and stuff like that. So that's very interesting. Now, in this particular game, you are auctioning and racing horses. Now, it is a kind of a roll and move game, but it's not as simple as a classic snakes and ladders kind of thing. I'll move this off to one side and show you what's on the board. So we are racing 5 times. Everything kind of just about fits in shots here, and obviously all my money tray way off to the side. Aim of the game is to back the best horses and win the game with the most money. So here are the rules. Everybody's going to get a little, form guide to see how people are doing. As you see, mint condition pretty much. And let's look at one of these in a second. Everyone's going to start off with $50,000, which is given out by a certain denomination. There's an area to write down where everyone gets their scoring, and also there's going to be a horse out for each person. So let's place these out now, just a few of them. Now the first race is 6 furlongs long. There's obviously 6 horses, and just placing out some down here for the time being. Downforce is a similar game to it. And please ensure you hit the like button, subscribe button, notification bell, to see when other videos come along. Also ensure that you go through to the description in YouTube, and also comment in YouTube is best. Via the description you can know about Linktree, how to support the channel via Patreon, and also how you can see more than 2,500 posts over on Instagram. So we have this 20-cent form guide. We're going to see who wants to bid on this first race. You can do odds as well, but we'll ignore that for the time being. The distance up here is saying that we're going 6 furlongs, obviously around here. Another 6, we have a 1¼ miles, so it shows you where that's going to be, over there. Then we have 5 furlongs, and finally we have a 6, and actually the 6th race, in fact, is another long one. So the way it's going to work is you are going to decide who wants to bet on that first horse. So we could roll a die, or let's say go for Gunsmoke initially. So Gunsmoke, in this first time it moves around, is going to move 11 positions, and then it kind of fades away to only 1% limping home at the end. Whereas Rotunda starts okay, gets a bit stronger, and then obviously games fairly consistently. So some of them are going to get stronger, some of them get weaker. What you're doing is you're bidding a minimum of $500, or the minimum 500 increase in your bid, to see which one you're going to go for. So you might also see the class. The class is basically how far they'll move over this position if they did all these positions. And based on this, we can see that Lucky Old Sun actually moves the furthest, okay, the average basically, across that. Now, it isn't the case that they're going to move exactly these amount of positions throughout the game. They could be moving more. But as an example, the odds are quite good on it, so that is why it's got a class of 50. So what you're going to do is you're going to bid. So let's just say someone bid 500, someone passes, everyone else passes, they get it, then they're out of the bidding. This person bids 500, the next person bids 1,000, they get 1,000, etc. So then what we're going to see is we're going to roll 2 dice. Now we're going to roll the blue die to determine actually which horse is going to run first. So basically 6, so it's going to be 8 ball. If someone has 8 ball, if you're playing with fewer than 6 players, you're playing with fewer horses, so your next going to cycle round, that'd be 1 or 2, etc. So 8 ball will be moving 7 positions, plus the 6 on the die. So it's going to move a total of 13 positions. So imagine this was, I don't know, imagine that was 8 ball. It's going to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All these represent 5. So basically it started here. So it's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 5, 10, something like that. So it's going to be 5, 10, 13. Okay. And then everyone else is going to go near it. So maybe it's their turn, and maybe they get stuck behind it. They might have to come past it and go diagonally. Obviously, now it's going to maybe get interrupted by other things I'll get onto in a second. So it rolls 13, but we also rolled this other die. So we had a 6 and a 2, that makes 8. If someone had mustard seed, there's a bonus associated. Now obviously based on all our averages, obviously these are a bit better in that respect as well. So if you rolled an 8, then what's going to happen is you get a bonus roll of 3. So all the horses are going to get that same 6 movement, plus their distance, plus if you happen to get the bonus number, you're going to get an additional movement of 3. That's why it takes a lot quicker to play than you'd imagine. In fact, for the longer races, they're moving up to, I think I've seen 18 or 21 move on one turn as well. So that's going to move on, and then you move to the next horse. Of course, we're dealing with that 6 roll, so it's going to be 6 plus 7, 13. That's the distance they move. That's how the game goes. And basically, if you happen to have a veteran, it allows you to move sideways. So you can go that way, you can go over here. Throughout the game, you can move as many times as you like. I think typically it's maximum of 2 times, whereas if you have an apprentice, you get a bonus movement of 2, so you're always moving a bit further, but you can only move in one direction. So you can move straight, and then if you want to overtake, that's fine, but then you can't come back out again. Now let's talk about these lines. If you're in this line, basically it lets you move past other people, kind of like on the inside or whatever. Obviously on this corner as well, you can't do any kind of overtaking, so around here, unless you happen to be in these positions specific spots as well. Then you're going to see who won. So whoever came in first, crossing the line first, is going to get themselves $5,000. The second is going to get $3,000, $1,500, and $500. So in a 4-player game, everyone's benefiting. Then you move on to race 2, which actually is a smaller purse, okay, and then various things will occur. And you play out all 6 rounds and you see how people get on. Now the average rating is 6.6 or so, and my opinion of this is pretty close to that. It's enjoyable. I happened to overbet. I came last, I think, because I bet like 2,500 on a horse. I knew it was the best one out there, but it turned out that, you know, dice and luck and stuff like that might be a factor. And crucially, it ended up that I wasn't able to actually get home with a win. So someone broke even. They had exactly the right amount of money as they started off with, and 2 people had more. So it's kind of a fixed closed bidding or economy, aside from the fact you do have these wins. Wonderful rule books, really, really nice. Very impressed with these. And there's something else, 1966. All these old games from back then. So yeah, very interesting. Yeah, Minnesota, as I mentioned. Aside from that, if you have any other questions, please let me know. This is going to go into that playlist called How to Set Up, Play and Review. Obviously the AmassGames playlist as well. Money's nice. Obviously it's got these kind of nice figures on it, and quite a lot of money hasn't even been opened yet, so that's quite interesting. Yeah, very old game. One of the oldest games that is, it's still got a license attached to it. There are some foul things you can do, especially if you think your house that you've backed isn't going to win. So there's various different things. And yeah, it's very interesting. I think the idea of having bets as well, it shows you what you're going to be getting if you happen to place or show. The fact that you can place it back in this box is also pretty effective. So you just fold this up, again shows you what's on there, and then you put this over here. It's just a nice neat thing to fit and put away. And there you have it. So very interesting, win, place and show. I happened to pick this up and yeah, rather impressed. So win, place, show. Please let me know your thoughts. For now, back to the table.